crew to save the day.
Welcome to Mighty House. This is a show for people with problems, home improvement problems, that is, and for people who want common sense guidance on how to build green and live a more sustainable lifestyle. Send an email. The Mighty House crew is on the job. This is Mighty House.
Hey, we're back, and today, what are we talking about, Rich?
We're going to talk about drilling and notching floor joists, drilling studs, and top plates.
Drilling holes. That's what we're going to be doing. Drilling holes.
Yep.
Ready?
I'm drilling holes. I'm drilling holes.
So before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, dingle on the bell. That way you get notified next time we post something. And of course, you can leave us a note down below. We're answering your questions and helping people out that way too on a one-on-one basis. So it's always good to get those emails and those questions and getting the opportunity to answer them. So we appreciate the notifications that you put down below. So with that, let's get started here. I'm going to start the share here and share the screen. And we're going to start off with floor joists, correct?
Right. Yes.
So can we just go blasting holes anywhere through that floor joist when we want to run wires or a pipe or something?
Yes, you can. But
Okay.
you're probably not going to pass your inspection and you'll have to pull it all apart.
I was going to say, man, that was it. That's a quick episode. Done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
no.
yes, you can.
no. Some of this stuff is really common sense when you think about it. No, but let's start like obviously with floor joists because, you know, plumbers, electricians, some HVAC guys, you have no choice but to drill through floor joists.
Right.
So, you know, some simple rules, right? Think of your floor joist, that span from where it sits from one end to the other, and divide that into three, right?
Yeah.
So-
1, 2, 3. Yep.
Right. 9 foot span, 3 foot, 3 foot, 3 foot, right? Simple enough.
Correct.
So the holes that you put in there cannot be within 2 inches of the edges.
Right here.
Yep. And then the notches in the top or the bottom, those can't exceed 1/6 of the height. So again, it's 1/6 of the height. So that you look on that chart there, it says D divided by 6. So D is the depth right there on the board by the notch. Yeah. So your maximum length on that notch is D divided by 3. So again, D is the depth or height of that floor joist. So, you know, if it's a 2 by 12 divided by 3, that can't be more than 4, right?
Right. And personally, my rule is 0 notches.
Yes.
Just don't do it.
So
and
that
and
said, a notch on the top to me is not necessarily that bad. But you shouldn't really need them but the notches on the bottom I hate because that's where all your strength is, right? The bottom wants to push, you know, come apart.
it wants to go this way. It wants to come out like
Yeah,
that.
and if you go and notch the bottom and it's a 2 by 12, to me, you've only got a 2 by 10 left.
Correct.
And so I don't like notches at all. So drilling is fine, drilling at either end, and you can still drill in the middle of the span. You can drill holes in the middle, you just cannot notch in the middle.
Correct.
But you notice that your holes that you drill, again, is only 1/3 of the height. So again, 2 by 12, you can drill a 4-inch hole, right? Which you're running 3-inch PVC pipe. It's good. But the other thing is watch your plumber because you wouldn't want to be drilling 5 in a row.
Yes. Correct.
You know, if you needed to drill one because the toilet flange is going to be right there, I could understand that. You know what I mean? You got to make your turn. The other thing I liked about this chart, and this chart actually came from like on Building Advisor.
Okay.
What I liked to this was the chart on the top where it says, okay, if your joist is a 2 by 4, right, which is pretty rare to see a 2 by 4 floor joist,
Right.
you cannot put any holes or notches in a 2 by 4 floor joist.
Right.
In a 2 by 6, biggest hole, 1.5, 2 by 8, and so on. So this is actually really nice little chart that would tell you what you can do. All you got to do is walk over, go, oh, it's a 2 by 10. Wow, the biggest hole I can drill is 3-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful chart.
Yes.
Almost idiot proof, but been doing this a long time. It's never that accurate.
Yeah. No. So again, 2 inches up from the bottom, 2 inches down from the top. And then whatever's left in the middle, you can do that. Holes you can drill throughout the entire span.
Mm-hmm.
Notches are only in the first third of either end and nothing in the middle.
Correct. So yeah, and then studs kind of work in a similar manner.
Let's see. There we go. Yep, there's your studs. Okay.
So the big thing with studs is it really dependent on, is it a bearing wall or a non-bearing wall? So and usually in a house, we'll do double top plates everywhere, but if you were doing remodeling, you might do double top plate on a bearing wall and only a single top plate on a partition wall. So a non-load bearing wall. So anyway, on a structural wall like this one, you can only drill 40% of the width of that stud. So on a 2x4, that's 1.4 inches. And again, 5/8 of an inch minimum from the edge. But if you were going to be doing a non-load bearing wall, you can go 60%. So now you're going like 1 3/4. So you can go a larger hole. And then you can see there, it says stud depth, but then that stud must be double studded, or you need no more than 2 successive are doubled, so they're bored.
Right.
Again, this would only come into play if you've got like a kitchen sink with a 2-inch drain or something like that, where you got to go over that excess. But if it's a bearing wall, you can't go do that. So that's why you try to lay out your studs to work.
Yep, exactly. And again, here's more notching.
Mm-hmm.
And in the studs, I don't particularly like to let the guys do that, but I will let it slide once in a while if I have to.
Well, and again, so the notches can't be more than 25% of the depth. So on a 3.5 inch wall, 25% of that is 8.875. So that's 7/8 of an inch.
Right.
So you can go to notch 7/8 of an inch deep, but that's your max.
Right. And you're barely getting a piece of 1/2 inch conduit through that. So just drill the hole. Just drill
Well,
it.
I should say drill the hole. Well, and for us, it's actually kind of interesting is because for us, because we wire with extension cords, Romex, you can get away with more small holes, which is still stronger. 5/8 of an inch. When you put drywall screws up, you always take the thickness of your drywall or your wall finish plus 3/4 for penetration. Which is interesting that they say stay 5/8 back to the edge, because your drywall screw should go in 3/4 of an inch. So really, you don't even want to be in 5/8. You'd want to be at least 3/4 of an inch back.
Yeah, you're using those stud protectors that you
On
get.
plumbing, water lines, yeah, but not necessarily on not on conduit.
No, we don't do it for the conduit, but I guess if I was running extension cords, I might.
Yes, we do. Or we try to keep them right in the middle.
Yep.
And then the last one's just top plates. What happens when you start cutting up top plates? So a lot of these guys, they'll just do that. They'll just notch to get their vent up through up through the roof.
Yep. Instead of drilling a hole.
Instead of drilling a hole. But a lot of times, if you're, especially on a bearing wall, if you're over that's 50%, then you're going to have to put backing on there.
Yeah. The 16 gauge 1.5 inch.
16 gauge 1.5 inch wide metal. The thing is, I don't think I ever really noticed before that it said 10 penny nails fasteners on each side.
You're right.
That's a lot of nails.
Yeah, it is. It's going to split.
That's what I was thinking when I read it too. It's like, it's just going to split the top plate in half. I don't know. It's like chisels.
But it doesn't tell you how long it needs to be, right? Wide.
6 inches past each end. Metal tie must extend not less than 6 inches past the opening.
Okay.
So 6 inches past the notch on either side.
So we're going to do a little bit more than that. And then get that way you can get all those nails in there. And I guess maybe if you were to toenail one up, one down, and kind of split it up that way and then straight, so they're not all just going right into the same grain, you get a less of a chance of splitting it then, I guess, too. So there's your guide for drilling holes. With that, I'll say, you got any questions about this, feel free to drop us a note, leave a note down below, and we will get your questions answered. But at least now you know where you can drill and where you can't drill when you're starting to build stuff and you're remodeling or doing new construction. So, and we might as well say, where did you pull this information? Is it through the IRC? Is that what you used?
Yes, the IRC, building advisor was the first drawing. I like that one better than even the IRC.
Okay.
But then, yeah, everything's from the IRC.
Okay, there you go. All right. And I'll say with that, keep it square and level.
Till next time.
Until next time. There you go.